Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly wisdom for June. I almost said January, June 29th through January 6th. It's a little bit extended. I'm Kim from Expressions of the Universe, and I want to talk about the eclipses. I'm going crazy. Like, I have all of this information coming in that I have to record this and release this early for all of you because the energy is building. Can you feel it? We've been in this, fix myself a little bit. We have been building up to the solar eclipse, new moon in Cancer, coming on July 2nd. We've been building up to it since June 2nd, about 30 days before. The energy will carry us for about 6 months. And I have so much channeled information that I have to get it out there. The crystals that I want to use for this week is malachite and mookaite. And this is only one form of mookaite. It comes in all different kinds of reds and browns and whites, shades of cream. But I really like this yellow one because the sun is in Cancer, so it just looks summery to me. It is summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. So this will soothe and nurture during times of stress. It will help to keep us grounded. Mookaite. I'm going to have to get out my mookaite bracelets. And the malachite, this is such a magical, mystical stone. It not only clears and activates all of the chakras, and I love this one piece because look at that little heart right there. Do you see that? Do you see that little heart? I only noticed this the last time I used this. Anyway, so the malachite will clear and activate all of the chakras. It's known as the stone of transformation. It is such a super healing stone. I think we need it. We need to stay grounded and stay de-stressed. And we need to clear and align all of the chakras, this is especially for the heart and the throat, so that we can speak our truth. And I do have your cards. I'm just going to do them right now. And then if you want to stick around and hear what I have to say, I have some predictions here for this solar eclipse. I'm not 100% sure what they will be, but it's amazing. I looked back into history, and my guides told me to look into the astrological charts of various countries around the world. And it's really shocking and amazing how so many countries, mostly allies to the United States, allies with each other, are all aligned. Their birth dates are aligned to these eclipses that are coming up. The first one being July 2nd. Then we're going to have a lunar eclipse on July 16th. We have an eclipse in December. I think it's actually on Christmas Day. But another big one is going to be on July 10th. I think that's the date that I wrote down. Not July, January 10th. It'll be at 19 degrees. I wrote January 2020, 19 degrees, but I think it's January 10th. And that's going to be a huge one. So that's going to wrap things up that are starting off right now. Do you remember, if you've been watching me for a while, I've been saying this for a while about putting money away, saving money. I know money is really tight for a lot of people, so most people may not have had the chance to do it. Try to do it if you can, because I'm feeling that something is coming and we're going to get hit, boom, in January. Like things are building up to it, especially with the eclipses being in Cancer and Capricorn. And we have Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn with the South Node, and Jupiter will be joining come December. And so there's just so much craziness going on. But let's get started. I'm going to do your cards. So while I was shuffling, 2 cards fell out, and then I picked one card. I don't even need my glasses. I'll need them to read this. The card that will come in for Monday and Tuesday, this will be for the new moon on July 2nd. It is poised. Now let me see if I can come over here. Hopefully you can see that good. We got light glare. There you go. You know that I'll post these on Facebook and Instagram Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, the reason why I'm using this deck, by the way, before I get into the meaning of this, is because I felt like there needs to be a continuation to the story from the previous weekly wisdom. I just posted the round and round card. Previous to that, and I have them here, it was happy, happy reversed with the release card. Okay. And then I'm recording this early. So Friday, the Fates card comes in, but it's reversed. And I didn't channel the message yet for this, so you'll have to stay tuned. But I felt like the story needed to continue from last week since we are building up to this. So that's where this poised card comes in. Sorry about the shadows. Poised is saying we are ready. We are ready for a change. We're ready for things to happen. You could see this fairy. She's like, hallelujah, yes. Don't be fearful, because this is saying get ready, but this is also saying we are ready. So you'll have to wait for those channeled messages when they come through. Then, right after the eclipse, coming in Wednesday, Thursday, late Tuesday, it is the breathe card. So is this an exhalation? We're finally able to exhale. The eclipse happened. We're over. We're done with it. I wish, yeah, how's that? Is that a little bit better? I know. So the lighting, so that you can see me, is glaring off of these cards. If I hold it back here, you'll get to see a better view of it when I post it on Facebook and Instagram. But breathe is saying just that. Like, don't hold your breath. Like, let it flow. Take it in, take it out. This is also saying if you're stressed, we need to breathe. Don't freak out over this. So much information's coming through, but I have some positive information that I've channeled. So you'll have to stay tuned after you see the cards, because I'm telling you, I have a ton of information. I was working on the July tarot scopes. It's crazy, my little graph of all of the signs. I know you probably can't even understand what I wrote for each sign, but I know it's my own code. And there's so much information on the July tarot scopes. It's crazy that I'm trying to fit it into the videos. And that's another reason why I'm getting this out early, so that I can also release the July tarot scopes come the weekend. All right. So the card that will come in next Friday and for the weekend, it has come to the edge. And I know several of you got this during my live weekly wisdom show. And this is about taking a leap of faith. It's about walking to the edge of the cliff, and not literally jumping off, but taking that leap of faith, taking a risk, knowing that everything is going to be okay, even if the risk is just to settle down and take that breath and allow yourself to exhale, knowing that everything will be okay. And the reason why I'm saying that I know everything's going to be okay, even though things are going to get really kind of shaken up, my guides also, when they told me to look at the charts of different countries, they also told me to go back and look at the last times in history that we had these Cancer and Capricorn eclipses. Now, the big difference from what they told me without even looking is we didn't have Saturn and Pluto and soon Jupiter and the South Node in Capricorn. And we didn't have the North Node in Cancer either, which is huge. So I think that's going to make a really big difference. It's going to make things change. Pluto is the change maker. He's the end maker. You know, I keep telling you Saturn is the rule maker. He's the authoritarian. And the South Node, that's past lives, things from the past that we still need to get over. So if there are still lessons that you keep repeating, that's what that round and round card was that I posted today. These eclipses are going to force you to learn the lessons really quick so that you can, you know, move on to the next lesson. You don't have to keep repeating these things. But yeah, so 2001, we had these eclipses. And I thought about my life and what was going on in 2001. And financially, things were picking up really well for me personally. I work in the financial sector, and I have for 37 years outside of this. And things were picking up. Now, the financial markets, this is the one bad thing about working in the financial world. The markets go up and down. We all know that, how the economy goes. Well, when the markets are down or they've crashed, I usually am out of a job, which is okay because it always gives me a really good respite. And then I can do more of this. But yeah, 2001, things were picking up. Things were going good. However, think about September 11th of 2001. Our whole world in the United States changed, especially here on the East Coast, because, you know, I'm only about a little over an hour, about an hour and 10 minutes from New York City, an hour if I'm traveling really fast. But, you know, our whole world's changed. So many people from this area were working in the World Trade Center at that time. I worked for JP Morgan Chase at that time, based out of New York City and the World Trade Center. So our systems, everything went down when that happened. It was tragic, but it changed the whole world, and it gave us this reset to be kinder and gentler people. Just looking back at that timeline, I don't know if I wrote the date for 2001. I just wrote 2001 because I didn't want to focus so much on that, because we also had these Cancer Capricorn eclipses in 2009. And this one really kind of stands out to me because being in the financial sector, 2007, 2008 saw a huge crash. I was out of work for 2 years. Thank goodness JP Morgan gave me a beautiful 2-year severance because I worked for them for 15 years. So that was fine. And I was able to work with my mom and do this. And it was very prosperous for me. And I had so much free time. So that was okay. But the 2009, we had an eclipse in July in Cancer at the new moon, the solar eclipse. Did anything happen immediately? No. However, things were going good. Things felt like they were building. I knew something. I felt something inside that said things were going to get better. Things were turning around. I knew something was going to happen. And we say that these eclipses, the energy carries for about 6 months. It was exactly 6 months after that eclipse that I bought this house that I'm in, and I had fistfuls of cash, you know, for the down payment and the closing costs and everything. And I was extremely happy. And then what happened? I wound up getting my dream job in the financial sector. I'm not going to talk about that, but that was in Washington. And that was great. So like that eclipse just gave me that boost, and I just went with it. There's just so much energy behind this eclipse that's coming. I know a lot of people are fearful, and I think it's mainly because of the Pluto Saturn South Node and soon Jupiter moving into Capricorn, that things are going to be really different. Also, too, what I was looking at is we're coming out of the eclipse season of the fixed signs, Leo and Aquarius. Those are fixed, predictable energies. We're moving into the cardinal signs of Cancer and Capricorn, and that's reactive. So people are reacting to others' actions. So it's kind of like a little bit of a volatile eclipse. But I think it's like very action based. It's going to put fire under our butts and get us moving. So I think that's good. When we had that financial crash, 2007, 2008, the eclipses were in mutable signs of Virgo and Pisces. Mutable signs, so much is changeable. You don't know what's going to happen. But what I picked up, what I wrote down, this solar eclipse, July 2nd, is at 10 degrees Cancer at 3:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So take a look at your own charts and see where that 10-degree Cancer shows up. You're also going to want to look at the exact opposite, which is 10 degrees Capricorn. So what's going on in those two areas, or I should say like this, because I think the screen records backwards, the 9th house and the 2nd house. Capricorn will be in the 2nd house of money, possessions, what we value, and Cancer will be in the 9th house, and that is spirituality. It's religion sometimes, it's travel, it's journeys, it's learning, it's expanding. So that's where the sun is shining there, but the restrictions are down in that 2nd house of finance. That's why I'm like, what's going on here? Jupiter will be squaring Neptune for quite some time. It's indicating that there will be a lack of self-discipline, too much self-indulgence, and a lot of time wasting amongst people. But it is summertime here, so, that's where the time wasting could come in. The moon will be trined Neptune, so there will be a lot of daydreaming. People are going to be wishing, which brings me to the new moon wish list. You've got to get your new moon wish list done, solidified by this weekend. That's why, another reason why I'm putting this out early, because this is such a huge new moon solar eclipse. And if I'm not mistaken, the last time that we had that eclipse in 2009 of July, I set the intention that I needed to buy a new house. I wanted to buy a new house. I wanted a little more space, although my house is very small. It's modest, trust me. But I wanted beautiful gardens. I wanted certain things, and I put that in my mind, and I made my wish list. I also put out there about the prosperity and about finding a new job. I knew where I wanted to work. I was determined that I was going to get a job where I did in January of 2010 when the next eclipse came around. So we're going through that same energy. I feel that this could happen to a lot of you as well. Things are changing right now, but hold on. I think that's what the poise card, and I already threw it over there. Poise card says you are ready. You're ready for this change. You're getting ready. So you got to make the new moon wish list. Write down all the things that you want to have come into your life. I was picking up the energy of this particular new moon and eclipse. The words shipwrecked in the pouring rain came up. I know that sounds horrible. Beware of making the same mistakes, my guides told me. There's more than one truth to your story. So the stories that you're telling yourself, the stories you're telling people, other people, the guides told me as a collective, there's more than one truth to those stories. So we have to change our mindset. We have to expand our minds to possibly see, all of the different truths that are part of all of our stories. And that was part of this round and round card today. It's about seeing things in a different way. Yes, more than one truth to the stories that you keep telling the world. We're expanding our values. Our values have to be expanded ASAP. Spiritual quests, journeys, discovering, uncovering the truth, acceptance now in order to grow and move further. And then the expansion of values, that is not material things. So this Capricorn South Node, the eclipse of our sun on July 2nd, with it being at 10 degrees, that's about manifestation in the second house. This is talking about not manifesting material things, but finding things that are non-tangible that we value. That's where this whole world energy is going to be moving to, because there's so much greed and corruption on the planet that is what is changing. That's what I truly feel is changing. So I may not be employed by my employer. Who knows? Like we may have another crash, but I still have this and I still have all of you. So I'll be fine. Also, too, 39 major chains in the United States are closing, as are major chains in other countries in the world. 39 major chains. That's huge. And what prompted me to look that up is because today in Philadelphia, 2 huge employers announced that they were closing down. So there's an oil refinery down in South Philadelphia closing down after 150 years, that's huge. They just recently had 2 really big fires, a huge explosion last weekend, which South Philly, I think, is like 35 miles south of me. And I swear my dogs heard it, and they woke me up at the exact time that was happening. So it was kind of weird. The explosion was heard in a couple of different states. That's how big it was. But they're done. And then a major hospital in our area is also closing. So it's like 3,500 jobs lost. And I think that's just the beginning of this whole Capricorn crap, the opposition of Capricorn. So there's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of people losing jobs. I personally know somebody who, worked at the refinery, but I know that everybody's going to be okay. It's just going to be a little bit of a rough road, but it's going to be fine. This will be in next week's video, but Mercury is going retrograde on July 7th until August 15th. So I am so sorry. I know this video is running long. I'll get into more detail, but it's at 24 degrees Cancer. And I think one of our eclipses that are coming up is at 24 degrees Cancer. So if I'm not mistaken, I have so many notes here, it's insane. But I know that 24 plays a huge role. It's going to start out at 4 degrees Leo, move to 24 degrees Cancer, and then come back to the 4 degrees Leo. Yeah, so it's covering, oh. Thank you for sticking with me, by the way. This Mercury retrograde, this is why I'm telling you on this week's video. This Mercury retrograde is covering the area that is happening between July 7th and July 16th. So get a journal and start writing everything down. Like right now, what's going on, trials, tribulations, good things. things that you may need to mull over, because that's what the retrograde is going to cover. And you're going to keep that journal, and the lessons and the different things and the ideas that come up for you, those are the things that you're going to need to take a look at and work through during the retrograde. So definitely journaling is going to be wonderful for that, because you'll be able to stay on track and learn those lessons, get on with it, and move on. Oh, okay. The full moon on July 16th. This is going to be a lunar eclipse. That moon is in Capricorn at 24 degrees, so it's going to be opposite the Cancer sun, and that's why I know that 24 is playing a huge role. I'll get into that another time. Transformation, rebirth, shedding of the skin, many metamorphoses. Difficult, but we've got this. This is what I was channeling last night. Gift of facing upheaval, and we're going to come out of this understanding so much more. We're going to have like this higher level of awareness coming out of this. And we have to look at any upheavals as a gift and a blessing. We may not see what the gift and the blessing is, but trust me, there is. Like me getting fired from my old job, I was able to have off 2 years paid and then landed in my dream job after the eclipse. So I couldn't have predicted that coming, but it was fantastic. Moon in Capricorn in the second house. Important material items could be lost, could be stolen, trinkets, souvenirs, real estate. So because the universe is trying to get us to stop valuing things and possessions and start to find the true value in non-tangible things. All right, I'm almost finished. Hopefully you're still here, because here's the crazy thing. When I was looking up the natal charts of many different countries. Now, I do want to say a lot of countries out there that are joint allies. We've got Great Britain, Canada, Australia, France, and Germany. Yeah, those are our top allies. They have many birthdays, even the United States, but there are certain significant birthdays, and we have to look at like the different revolutions. So France has had 5 evolutions, but I focused for France on Bastille Day. That's going back to the original big revolution for France, July 14th of 1789. It was 22 degrees Cancer. The United States, our major revolution was at 13 degrees Cancer. And what is really interesting is that July 4th of 2020, the sun will be in 13 degrees Cancer, which is the United States birthday. And there's going to be a huge solar eclipse. So this is going to come full circle, this whole entire thing. Great Britain, although, one of the birthdays is May 1st of 1707, which would make you a 10-degree Taurus, major manifester. You also have a birthday of January 1st of 1801, when you came together with Ireland. And I may have gotten that screwed up, but I know Ireland has something to do with that date. And that gives you a 10-degree Capricorn sun sign. So that is the total opposition of this eclipse. Canada, your birthday is July 1st of 1867. It's the day before the eclipse, so you're in orb of that eclipse. Germany, January 18th of 1871. So that's the Capricorn side, the opposition. And Australia, January 1st of 1901. So you are going to be in total opposition of this eclipse as well. When I look at who are the United States' biggest allies, we've got Canada, Great Britain, France, Australia, Germany. All of our countries, we come together whenever anyone's in trouble, and we're all being affected by the eclipse. Now, all of the eclipses for the next year. All of these other countries that I've listed here all also fall within these eclipses, and a lot of them they're little tiny countries, but I put stars next to a couple of them. The Sudan is one, and Venezuela. Gasoline. And how about the refinery down in Philadelphia? That services this whole entire area, so I can only imagine what gas prices are going to do. That is going to be, this is one of my predictions, that there's something going on with gasoline, definitely. And something huge is going to happen for those 5 countries, United States, Great Britain, Canada, Australia, Germany, France, within the next 6 months. So I think we've got Brexit going on. We definitely have crazy shit going on here in the United States. Venezuela is in upheaval over, there are 2 presidents that are fighting each other. The Sudan, you've got oil things going on over there. Libya was also on the list, I believe. So Somalia was another one. And I know that's a big player in pirating. So yeah, we have to, I want to keep an eye on this because I am not exactly sure what's going to happen, but I know something big is going to happen with these 5 countries. I think a lot of it has to do with politics, finance, because that's Capricorn. And this, that opposition is in the 2nd house. So, banking, our money, our hierarchies, our institutions, like, the governments, the way that they're structured. I can see a lot of different things going on. There's also indication of fighting and wars, so we may be having to come together as allies, and maybe that's why I keep talking about allies, our allies coming together. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I don't want to scare anybody, but I'm putting it out here on video so that I can go back and say, see, I told you. Just like when I did the Jupiter in Scorpio video so long before the Me Too movement and so long before the pedophilia in the churches. I had that on video. I predicted that. So let's see what happens with this. I know this has been a long video, but you need your weekly wisdom. You need it. Please stay tuned because I am going to publish your July tarot scopes for each sign, sun sign, rising sign, and moon. Don't forget, these are the cards. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I post these with a channeled message in a beautiful photo on Facebook and Instagram. I try to make them really pretty because I am an artist. So I try and take artful, beautiful, naturey type photos, unless it's pouring rain or freezing cold, and then I got to do them in here. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please share it with your friends. Show me some love. Subscribe to my channel. Be sure to click the little bell so that you get notifications when my new videos come out, when the July tarot scopes come out, because they're going to be crazy for all the signs. And I'm going to pick the cards live as I'm recording it. You'll see. So who knows what's going to happen. Until next time, happy new moon. Write your new moon wish lists. And peace and blessings. Namaste. Thank you for watching. Bye.